Probably not, because it's just you, me, and Kate. Okay, very good.
Test, test.
Okay. We'll start. Oh, well.
Something on, excuse me, on this thing right here.
Okay, very good. You can see that. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be up against the. Okay, no worries.
Well, thank you for your patience. We're almost ready. There's another artwork piece we want to put up here. I'll just mention, you may know that after the service, we're going to have a brief meeting for people who are thinking about becoming members here. And so that'll be in my office, and it will be like a 20-minute meeting. So if you're thinking about being a member here, if you're not a member, why in the world would you want to be a member here? Look at all the good things happening.
Don't believe the toaster story.
What was that?
Don't believe the toaster. Free toaster.
I don't know who that man is. I just wanted to put the medallion that the folks have done here up, and it's coming. This is the one I did.
We are ready. We're live.
And now here's John.
Good morning. Oh, I didn't, was supposed to. There you go. Good morning. Welcome to the Treasure Coast Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Stuart, Florida. Today is Sunday, September 14th. My name is John Morn, and I am your worship associate today. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people of all gender identities, ethnicities, ages, and backgrounds, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We are on YouTube also. To be put on our mailing list, our email list, or to find out more about our congregation, just Google TCUUC to find our website, and you can find it at tcuuc.org. Note the email link to request our online Friday newsletter. Please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. Visitors, we welcome anyone who is here for the first time or maybe even the second time. Visitors, if you are comfortable, please step up to the microphone and introduce yourselves. Okay.
Okay. My name is Ev Holt. My husband died a few days ago, and we were going to Vero for the Vero UU. So I don't want to drive up there. I'd rather be a part of this group. So.
Welcome. Anyone else? You can see the order of service for announcements on the side here, the weekly announcements. Sorry about that. And I'm going to give you a few right now. You can join us the first and third Tuesdays at Pappleton Creek Park at noon for our brown bag lunch. It's just down the street, and you can find where the group is easily from the parking area. And so that's always a fun social activity for people to participate in. There will be coffee and snacks following this service today in the social hall right across the way. Next week, our post-election support group will meet right here in this room after the service on Sunday. On September 24th, our Congregation Book Club starts our next book, the novel North Woods by Daniel Mason. It's a book about a piece of land in New England through the centuries and the different things that happened there, and won a lot of awards. Your social justice team has been working throughout the summer on a lot of different projects. This is something that Unitarian Universalism congregations frequently have, and so we're starting this up. We have become a financial sponsor for a compassion bench, which will be put at the Port Salerno Elementary School. We're working with Stewart Pentecostal Church and St. Mary's Episcopal Church to fund that. And this is a school where there are a high number of undocumented and immigrant families with children going there. We're also getting involved with the House of Hope here in Martin County, which is a wonderful organization that helps people who are struggling. And we're also looking to work with the North Palm and Vero Beach UU congregations. There will be a lot of opportunities, so you should keep an eye on the bulletin and announcements each week about opportunities to participate in some of those activities if you're interested. I want to give thanks to the people who helped make this service happen. For our music, Jackie Robbins, Sandy Craig, and a limited part of the choir who's here today. We'll have a lot more next week. And also thank our greeters, Janet Grote, Judith Watt, and David Gray. I want to thank our ushers and our tech elf and support, Karina Poloni, and our backup tech, Alistair Forrester. Our hospitality team today in the social hall are Marguerite Gregory and Florence Treacle. And today, Reverend Bob MacDonald is in the pulpit. Here's our prelude.
Could you call in Judith and...
I'm sorry?
Would you mind calling in Judith and David?
Okay.
Because they'll want to hear this.
Okay. Yeah, they're going out the door. So, Florence.
Let's just proceed.
Yep. Okay.
This is for the 3 people I lost this week, and your husband.
Thank you, Jackie. This is from the Passover Haggadah. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom. The opening words today are from Walt Whitman, from his Song of Myself. I've taken selections from the poem. I celebrate myself and what I assume you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. Stop this day and night with me, and you shall possess the origin of all poems. You shall possess the good of the earth and sun. You shall no longer take things at second or third hand, nor look through the eyes of the dead, nor feed on the specters in books. You shall not look through my eyes either, nor take things from me. You shall listen to all sides and filter them from yourself. I have heard what the talkers were talking, the talk of the beginning and the end. But I do not talk of the beginning or the end. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now, and will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Our first hymn today is hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us. I think most of you know this. Let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
(546), to free the heart. Through dreary, sodden days, the fields sponged up the graying skies, and now the sun lies soft as birth again, as if the earth had just begun. And blossoms on the vines designed in spring come out to sing again. And everywhere the ripening pushes falling leaves apart to free the heart for freshening. As through the seasons of our years, becoming often waits the nourishment of tears. And now our sharing of matters of joy and sorrow. We invite you to share yours and hope you will know as you do, you are heard and supported. We ask that they be brief and personal. Most of you have gotten the word that our beloved Pam Corbin passed away this past week. It was a surprise to her and to us that this would happen so quickly, but she failed so quickly that it was good for her. And I told her at the end we would keep her, and we will keep her. She asked us to set the date far enough ahead so that her friends could get here, her friends who fly here and there. So we set it for the first Sunday of November, and we will want that to be as special as we can make it. A cousin of hers is bringing a saxophone to play. There'll be a video of her sister, her late sister, singing. So we're going to make that quite a special day, and it's on the Sunday called All Saints' Day in Christendom. And in the morning at 10:30, we will remember two very special saints we have lost this year, and others, all saints, so to speak. And then in the afternoon at 12:30, the service for Pam. Anyone else with a matter of joy or sorrow to add?
My sorrow is that Pam is no longer here. She was really something. So, but my joy is Nisha, who brought this mandala idea to our church, who got people together to work on it, and I just really appreciate it. We've known each other since we were 7 years old.
Yes, Fred. Tell us where you've been.
Fred Dembowski, a quick synopsis. About a month and a half ago, my older daughter, Kirsten, had a liver transplant at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. She's doing well from that. A week and a half after she got her liver transplant, she fell out of bed, broke her hip. As a result of that, she got sepsis, and she was on real heavy-duty antibiotics, which made her delirious, and they had to keep her in the hospital because she didn't know where she was or who she was. And then, because of the medicines, she got renal failure, and now she's on dialysis. So she's back at a rehab hospital in Grand Forks, North Dakota, going to be on dialysis for a while, should be out of there in about a month and a half, or about a month. I was there for 3 weeks taking care of our grandson, who was not doing well because of that. On another note, my younger sister, Mary Lou, has diabetes and renal failure, and because of the combination of both those things, they had to amputate her foot. Again, they wheeled her out into a chair. She fell out of the chair, fell on her face, fractured her nose, got scratches and bruises all over her face, and she's not doing good. Fortunately, Ronnie and I are doing good. Thank you.
Fred, we're glad you're here. Anyone else? Tia.
Good morning. I'm Tia Breeding, sister to the woman in the lovely dress right there beside David. I I wasn't sure I was going to do this, but I've told several of you individually. So I wanted to let you know that I do have a diagnosis of breast cancer. And I had this 25 years ago, and obviously did well after that. So that's what I'm planning this time also. So I'll have surgery on the 30th and then begin some treatment. And I will be here as much as I can. And I think that's wonderful, the timing. I consider it for me as well.
We wish you the best, of course.
Good morning. I'm Shari Louise, and I apologize for my frequent absences this summer. I spent 2.5 weeks moving a friend with a wardrobe and a library that you cannot imagine, and keepsakes that spanned decades. And then it took me 2.5 weeks to recuperate. So that's why my absence. But I wanted to share that most of you know I had a traumatic brain injury some years ago, and then had another fall last August. Earlier this year, several months ago, I began to experience paranoia and fear. And I thought me of all was slipping into dementia, and I was frightened. A mentor of mine came forward and reminded me of a supplement called glycine, Glycine. Anyone who has had a traumatic brain injury or a serious concussion, it follows that they may have a problem with paranoia and fear. I have been using that supplement for 10 days, and it's gone. But I wanted to share that in case you know anyone who has had that kind of an experience, because that supplement not only helps protect the body from some of the downfalls of that kind of an injury, but it helps your muscle retention, it helps everything in the body, and it can be gotten online very inexpensively. Thank you.
Anyone else? Let me just mention that some of you know we were planning on a trip to Europe in a couple weeks, but we've decided we can't because my wife needs to have hip replacement and the pain meds weren't doing what we hoped they would do. So I'll be off for 3 weeks, but I'll be here at home. And once she got word of that, Lori said, well, don't worry, I have a list for you. I guess you've heard of such lists before. So anyhow, the trip hopefully will be in the spring, but not this month. And now we move a stone for any we haven't mentioned out loud. The meditation is one we've read before, but it's always good. Thich Nhat Hanh, the back of the hymnal. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become wholly ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being common to us all and to all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion toward ourselves and towards all living beings. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. Amen. And now moments of silence. And now Spirit of Life 123. We hum it once and then we sing it once, seated or standing, whichever we prefer. And now our morning offering. We hope you experience generosity here, and we need to experience yours. A month or so ago, more it seems like, Tia started inviting us to consider, thanks to Nisha contacting us, doing this mandala with healing in mind for a number of people in our midst, now including Tia. Anyhow, so I've asked Nisha to come and tell us about this beautiful art piece, what its meaning is, and we just want to thank her for it. But Nisha, why don't you just give us the message of this piece of work? Do you want others to come up with you?
Yeah, yes. Everybody that worked on it. Yeah.
I'll just remind you that this is not the sermon. This is a presentation, and we're grateful for it. Should we take the mic to her? Yes. Well, let me hold it, because that way I can take it back.
Karina also worked on it. Mandala means like a wheel, a prayer wheel. Well, I want to point to all these people who did these wonderful things, and all I. Alistair and Karina in the back. Yeah, what are they doing? Why are they hiding? They're not heaving, they're hiding. And of course, the Cardinal Roger did the Cardinal.
Guys, I gotta stop you for a second. The people on YouTube can't see the beautiful projects. Please move over a little bit.
We want you guys more than the beautiful people.
Why don't you bring the project over here?
I've got it connected to that. Careful.
Yeah, we gotta be careful.
You've seen the back of it, why don't you
Yeah, we've seen the back of it.
bring it over here? The back. Bring it over here. So you get the front vision.
Do you want to tell us more?
Well,
Keep telling us.
a mandala is a, that's not too bad.
All right, okay.
Well,
You're showing it to the world while they're watching us, too.
And there, yes, and we can see it up there. Who has the mic?
If you bring it here.
you know what I found
If you
out?
bring it here, Karina, the audience will be able to see it if you bring it here. And you have your.
We have no mic. I'm
Well, thank you all very much. Thank you, Nisha. And there'll be more talking about this in Heston Hall. I think it was Lynn Olson who went to our GA, UUGA, and got me a T-shirt that said cat herder and brought it back to me, telling me that that was kind of the role of the minister here, cat herder. I kind of knew that. Because it's September and back to school always comes to mind, I thought for these few Sundays I would emphasize basics as I've gotten to understand them in the ministry and in the ministry here too. So for today, I just want to lift up that I've been aware for a long time that religion can be healthy and it can be unhealthy, and we're working at it being healthy for us. Last Sunday, I closed with the words of Reinhold Niebuhr in the back of the hymnal, "You Must Be Saved." And I want to read this again, and it's the last time for a while I'll read it, I promise. Reinhold Niebuhr was a great Christian theologian, and he had heard all his life about the importance and the meaning some placed on being saved, and it wasn't what he understood it to mean. So this is what he wrote: "You must be saved." Here it is in the back of the UU hymnal. I've never heard any of you or me here talk about being saved, but you must be saved, and this is what that means. To Niebuhr: "Nothing worth doing is completed in our lifetime. Therefore, we are saved by hope. Nothing true or beautiful or good makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we are saved by faith. Nothing we do, however virtuous, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we are saved by love. No virtuous act is quite as virtuous from the standpoint of our friend or foe as from our own. Therefore, we are saved by the final form of love, which is forgiveness." Now, like Niebuhr, I have heard about being saved and my need for it my whole career. And now I really only think about it when I'm driving up I-95 and see those billboards I assume are meant to scare the hell out of all of us. That's what they sort of do. That all reminded me, this whole saved business reminded me of the Viking cruise we took on the Dnieper River in Ukraine from Kyiv to Crimea. At the time, I thought it was Kiev, but we've learned that it's Kyiv to Crimea. That was 2010, and Crimea was still part of Ukraine. And the memorable part of the Ukraine cruise was the Yalta Conference Palace, with huge murals of Churchill, Stalin, and Roosevelt. History seemed to come to life with those murals. On the ship, the Viking ship, we ate with a couple from Ohio. She also was an immigrant from Germany, so we had things in common. And at the table next to us was a large family from Texas with a loud mother who ended each conversation with, "Oh, well, I'm saved, and that's all that matters." We heard that night after night, several times through dinner. We tried not to hear it, but she was loud. So the couple, when we were off walking, asked me, they were Roman Catholic, asked me what that meant. And I told them that woman had to keep repeating her confidence in her long-term end-of-life insurance, very long-term end-of-life insurance, and that's what she thought religion was about. Or so I thought. I did not engage her in any conversation. As soon as I heard her, it was one of my goals to get through the trip in Ukraine without talking to her. The theologian Niebuhr knew saved and salvation were rooted in the Latin salvus, which meant whole, wholesome and healthy, not end-of-life insurance. So I've asked again for sermon suggestion topics in that coffee can in Heston Hall. And last week I pulled out one of your offerings. Do Unitarians have a soul? Do Unitarians have a soul? Should we poll the souls here? Now, one of the first things I learned in college was that the religions most of us then and now started out as were from the Mediterranean world. And in that world, 2,000 years ago, soul, S-O-U-L, was a Greek idea, and spirit was a Hebraic, Jewish idea, spirit. And soon after learning that, I remembered an article in the Christian Century that made sense. Some author wrote that Roman Catholics tended to think of spiritual, religious things as if they were things with locations, Your soul was an actual thing that got attached to you at conception or soon after, hot topic there, and left you at death. Likewise, at the Mass, something pretty important is in that bread and wine or juice. And when I attended Catholic services, I noticed a few had it timed to come late and get in line for that vital thing and leave right after. Protestants, the author wrote, thought soul was a composite of that little precious blob we all start out as, and adding the gifts of many to the gift we have in us to be, we become our own whole and healthy salvus. Similarly, the Mass or communion was not something in the bread and wine, but some indefinable in the relationships of the folks kneeling, which what we mean to each other and help each other become. The most important thing about religion, it has come to me, is whether or not it contributes to our health, to our sense of self and self-worth, or the reverse. Most people who come here tell me they are looking for community, for some healthy community that gives them a sense of support and encourages public responsibility. And we all have different takes on that. So yes, we do have disagreements, Nisha, that happens here, and we consider that part of our health. When I decided to become a minister around that time, there was a traveling roadshow, I called it, of Methodist bishops holding rallies, regional rallies, to invite people considering being ministers. And there were a lot then, mostly boys, young guys, some women, to come and hear from the bishops what was a healthy reason to become a minister, because they were aware of people becoming clergy for less than healthy reasons. They cited several unhealthy promptings that attracted young recruits into clergy. boys looking for a better relationship with the father. Now, much has been written about the lack of relationship with father, who was absent most of the time or totally. The poet Robert Bly did a popular program called A Gathering of Men, which was a kind of therapy to help those attending do better with the next generation of boys. The bishops were saying, you don't resolve your daddy issues with a clerical collar. The second unhealthy prompt to ministry presented by those bishops, guilt over the onset of puberty and sexual urges. Not a good launch for ministry, though it had a lot to do with giants like Augustine and Luther, according to what I've studied. I don't remember one healthy reason given for choosing this career. A welcoming family away from family was real to me, but I'm not sure that was a healthy prompt. I guess I had to learn to make it one. I had to go, you've probably wondered about this, I had to undergo a psych evaluation before I could be ordained. And guess what? I passed. I remember being asked in that evaluation, did I hear voices? I said no. Now, here's my list of what a healthy religion should do for people, and I hope ours does for us. It should start with self-respect and grow to respect for all others, The tradition that I know best says love others as you love yourself. But it didn't really teach us how to love ourselves well. And that too quickly seemed to border on selfishness, but there's a healthy self-love hopefully we all have in us or are working toward. Humility, all people, I am imperfect, susceptible to imperfection, but also always capable of improvement. You've probably thought that now and then through the years. I have too. Forgiveness, as opposed to holding grudges or requiring apologies. My teenagers, for almost all their teen years, would ask me if I was working my way up to an apology. I stopped asking for what, why, what did I do now? I was a parent. Case closed. Hospitality, openness to diversity. I can be comfortable around people, anybody, because I'm comfortable with myself most of the time. Compassion, reverence for life, except mosquitoes. Bloodsuckers forfeit their right to our reverence. Commitment to truth and questioning. My own Christian credentials have been questioned through the years because of my questioning. I would be glad to have it on my stone if I were having a stone. He believed in questioning to get to the truth. He still does wherever he is. Now here are my list of signs of an unhealthy religion, which I have witnessed all my life. Fear of hell and punishment. I'll just mention, as you know, I've had 2 wives. My first wife was from Western Pennsylvania, a fundamentalist Methodist church and family in Western PA. After we were married, she had nightmares of hell because she heard about that a lot in church. And it was mentioned to her from her home church that if she was marrying a progressive minister, that increased her chances of that kind of punishment. What a hell of a faith that was. My wife Lori has had nightmares, so both my wives have had nightmares. What's the connecting point there? My wife Lori has had nightmares of bombs falling from overhead. Now, she was born during World War II. Her mother, I've mentioned, and I mentioned at her mom's funeral, was a famous world runner. And her best running, I said then, was her running with two little girls for safety. And the one little girl who became my wife had nightmares for years about bombs coming down from overhead. That was something, to be awakened and then to be told, I'm being bombed. So anyway, fear of hell and punishment in two different forms there. Guilt. How much has the religion you've known somewhere else leaned on guilt? Defining us as flawed, irrevocably flawed. You did something wrong. You are something wrong. You just don't know what. Some sense of superiority, and I think a lot of religions fail here. My religion is better than yours. My religion is better than yours. Mine is right, yours is wrong, and if it's not wrong, it's not as right as mine. Eric Burns' games people play taught mine is better than yours is like one of the earliest things children learn, and too many religious people remained children. Self-lowering, self-abasement, lacking self-respect, seen in rituals like self-flagellation. You've got to beat the hell out of yourself, but you never can. Scapegoating, demonizing anyone who disagrees or is different. Reward, I will be good. I will do good because I will be rewarded, not because it is in me. The Judeo-Christian tradition begins, Genesis, with a good creation. Everything is stamped good, just the way it is made. But somehow, everything goes south, gets fallen, and original sin becomes heavy, heavy, what hangs over. Thanks largely to Augustine and his guilt feelings. Remember, he prayed about sexuality. I want to be chaste, but not yet. The priest, Matthew Fox, tried to correct that with a doctrine called original blessing. That's what must always hang over us. We were created a blessing. We see it in babies, we see it in puppies, and we see it in kittens. And we see it in those Egyptian ducks down at the park. Untainted beauty and promise. Healthy religion reminds us that's what we entered the world with, and we haven't lost it. Even if it feels like life is a march toward losing it. It does sometimes feel like that, don't it? But the fact is, we started out as a blessing, and we always will be. And hopefully can go on discovering that in the healthy religious practices we practice here. Our closing hymn, Do You Hear? 112. Please be seated. These closing words are from a Jewish prayer in the back of the hymnal. Grant us the ability to find joy and strength, not in the strident call to arms, but in stretching out our arms to grasp our fellow creatures in the striving for justice and truth. A Jewish prayer.